you cannot lose money on your gross profits and think you're going to make it up on volume, notwithstanding the fact that lots of lawyers try to do that. Eventually, you got to pay the piper there.
You're listening to the Profit First for Lawyers podcast, the official companion show to the book Profit First for Lawyers by RJon. Now, this podcast is for you if you want to bring home more profit while working less hours in the office, spending more time with your loved ones doing the things you actually want to do, and turning your office into a lean, mean, profit-breathing machine. So if you're tired of working for your law firm instead of your law firm working for you, stay tuned for some really practical insights that will get you the results you've always wanted. It's time to put your BS aside for the next few minutes and put yourself, your family, your firm, and your profit first. Welcome back to another episode of the Profit First for Lawyers podcast. I'm your host, Carly, and today we're talking about a subject that will be intensely profitable for you. Now, if you've ever worked in retail or in food services, this is a concept that you're probably pretty familiar with, and it's called COGS, cost of goods sold. Now, why does this apply to the running of your law firm, and how on earth will knowing this make you more money? Well, what we found through years and years and years of experience with hundreds of law firm owners is that often the services that they take the most pride in providing, right, the big ticket items or the ones that bring in a lot of cash, often those end up being their least profitable service offerings when we look at the numbers. And we'll go into this even further in our next episode, but this concept, the concept of COGS, will set the groundwork for making sure that the work your law firm pursues is not only professionally satisfying, but also profitable. Now, RJon talks about this in his book, Profit First for Lawyers, in chapter 15, which is all about important reports that 8-figure law firms all monitor on a regular basis. And as RJon mentioned in episode 67, and I'm paraphrasing here, but if you want to have a wildly profitable law firm, you need to do the things that owners of wildly profitable law firms do. And of course, we got that episode linked in our show notes if you want to take a look. So, this episode should have you on the edge of your seat. And even better news, the clips that I'm playing for you today are not only really profitable, but are also, in my opinion, really entertaining. As a teaser for what you're going to see in this episode, RJon paid a bunch of teenagers to teach their parents about COGS, and it is a hoot. But first up, I've got RJon from the back of his boat introducing the next clip, mostly because it cracks me up. Here's the story behind why he paid a bunch of teenagers to teach their parents about business financials. And as he says, you gotta eat a big old piece of humble pie to watch it. Here's RJon. Let's roll it.
You got to get a big slice of humble pie to watch this video because of the last live quarterly meeting. So for the last couple of years, we've had our members have been asking me, will you teach our kids business? And so we have a kids entrepreneur club at all of our live quarterly meetings for kids ages 3 to 12. And the members have been asking, will you teach our teenagers about business? And so we ran our Teenage Entrepreneur Bootcamp at the last live quarterly meeting. And I taught the kids budget, how budgets work, cash flow projections, accounts receivables, all these things I'm teaching you. And I taught the kids how to figure out the difference between gross revenue, top line revenue, cost of goods sold, what it costs to deliver the actual services, gross profits, fixed expenses, to come up with net income. And you cannot lose money on your gross profits and think you're going to make it up on volume, notwithstanding the fact that lots of lawyers try to do that. Eventually, you got to pay the piper there. So I taught the teenagers how to figure out cost of goods sold and gross profits. And I got through the lesson with them in about 20 minutes. And afterwards, I said, you got it? And they all looked at me like, yeah, we got it. And I said, are you sure you got it? And they're like, yeah, we're pretty sure we got it. And I said, are you really sure you don't have any questions? And they're like, what are we missing here? We got it. And they repeated it all back to me. And I was like, I'm just a little bit surprised because I taught 30 of you about this in 20 minutes. And normally when I teach this to lawyers, it takes me about 45 minutes. And they were like, how could, what is so? Lawyers, we love to complicate shit, don't we? So at the Saturday night unplugged for our members at the live quarterly meeting, I asked the teenagers, would you like to get up on stage and teach this to your parents? And they said, yeah, we would. And of course I paid them too.
All right, enough stalling. Now that RJon has given us the framework, here's the clip you've all been waiting for. Let's roll it.
I am tired of teaching you cost of goods sold. I'm tired of telling you, you gotta know your gross profit margins. Even though only a few of them will be doing the talking, they all collaborated and they all are getting paid. And then they negotiated a double of their salary, of the income. Name, age?
I'm Alex Frenzy and I'm 15.
I'm Weston Hannon and I'm 12.
I'm Zachary Basel. I'm 17.
I'm Zach Bly. I'm 14.
I'm Kevin Bender. I'm 14.
I'm Lizzie Franzi. I'm 13.
I'm Danielle Mental. I'm 18.
I'm Joaquin Oriol. I'm 18.
I'm Alan San Miguel, and I'm 13.
And now prepare to eat your humble pie.
Hello, entrepreneurs. Today, we're at Kevin's coffee shop. Kevin sells 1 cup of coffee for $1. He sells 1,000 in 1 month. So that means $1,000 in a month. That means he gets $1,000 in gross revenue. That's all the money he made from selling the coffee, not counting expenses.
So the cost of goods sold, or COGS, is basically what you put into making your product, or as you guys say, the sausage factory. So to make a cup of coffee, you need cup, liquid, the sleeve, lid, and of course labor. So to make a cup, it costs 5 cents, liquid 10 cents, sleeve 1 cent, and lid 2 cents. For labor, we pay our employees $6 an hour, and we divide that by 60 minutes, and that equals 10 cents a minute. And each cup of coffee roughly takes 1 minute to make, meaning each cup of coffee for labor is 10 cents. And in total, for the COGS, it is 28 cents or 28%.
As previously stated, a cup of coffee is $1. That's a gross revenue of $1 per cup. And the cost of goods sold is 28 cents per cup. And so that leaves you with 17.72 cents or 72% gross profit. So you got Kevin over here, and he's selling 1,000 cups per month. That's $1,000 gross revenue. 1,000 cups with a cost of 0.28 to make them is 280 COGS. Subtract that, simple math. 270 gross profit. Then you take your overhead, and that's your rent, your utilities, your insurance. That's 420. Subtract that, you got 300 net profit. That's it.
The slides for this. Awesome. No, good job, these guys. And I want you to know that they all made a material contribution to this presentation. Just because 3 of them did the talking, all 3 of them were really involved in it. So thank you all for playing all in.
I told you it would be fun. And honestly, okay, all joking aside, broken down in such simple terms, it really does show the value of knowing your COGS in your law firm, right? And if you have any questions about how you can break down your cost of goods sold, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at podcast@profitfirstforlawyers.com, and we'll be happy to help. And that's what we've got for you today, folks. Hey, thanks for spending some of your time with me. And if you found this episode valuable, here are just a few things you can do to take action today. 1, visit our page at profitfirstforlawyers.com/action to download our free resources, which I have curated just for you. 2, make sure you snag your copy of RJon's book, Profit First for Lawyers, wherever you usually buy your books. And 3, leave this podcast a 5-star review to help us be discovered by even more law firm owners just like you. And stay tuned as we approach the end of season 2. And I've got 3 really incredible interviews lined up for the end of the season that you are not going to want to miss. Join us next time as we speak with product offering extraordinaire Don Mobley, who will walk us through the nitty-gritty of your law firm's service offerings, profit margins, and pricing. And I promise, it's a whole lot more exciting than it sounds. Hang on to your hats, folks. We'll see you there. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Profit First for Lawyers. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, tell a friend. And visit profitfirstforlawyers.com/action to download the resources that are going to help you put these concepts to work for your law firm. Your future self will thank you for it, and we will see you next time.